Nigel, really good to meet you, and thank you for agreeing to have a chat with us. The media introduces the media in very unusual way. Well, first of all, just for everyone's benefit, could you just say who you are and who you work for?
I'm Nigel Donnelly. I'm formerly the editor of Practical Caravan magazine, now editor of practicalcaravan.com, practicalmotorhome.com and caravansightfinder.co.uk.
Very rapidly and wonderfully got across.
I've got used to it. Now it's quite a long job title, so I have to get better at that.
Fantastic. And why does the company come to the show? What do you guys get from it? Because you're a sort of big partner in the show, aren't you?
Yeah, we're a media partner for the Manchester show. We've had a good relationship with Clarion over many years when they used to run the other shows. They used to run the big show in Birmingham, obviously. And we've always been a partner with them, always gotten well. We've had a great working relationship. And in fact, some of the people who work for Clarion have probably been employees of Haymarket and Practical Caravan, so Devon and Rob Hawthorne, for example. Yes. So we've got a great working relationship with them, and we try and do what we can to help each other out. We can promote the show, and they help us build a pretty stand like we've got here to talk to our potential customers and existing customers.
Yeah, and you were here last year, obviously.
Yeah, we were here last year, and it was better weather last year, so I think a brighter show. But we know N.N.N show last year, Manchester took on massive importance last year. But I think in the new venue at Event City last year, it felt like a bigger, more grown-up show than it did when it was at GMX.
I was going to ask you about that. Do you think, because I mean, we covered it when it was at GMX, and many years ago I was told earlier it was actually at Bellevue.
Yeah, that's right. It was a long time ago.
A heck of a long time ago. I mean, not thinking of Bellevue particularly, but thinking of GMX. What do you think is the benefit of being here?
Much easier access, better parking, free parking, because one of the limitations at GMX was it was so central that it was quite difficult to get in and out, and it was expensive to park, and a lot of people just felt it wasn't worth the value because it was such a small venue. You couldn't see the same variety of product, so a lot of people would just hang on for the NEC. So, so an hour and a half, 2 hours worst case commute from here, so a lot of people would just hang on, whereas this feels much more of a grown-up show. A lot of stuff to see here, and a really lovely environment. And, the venue's still growing up, obviously. They've had a few teething problems again this year, but generally speaking it's a nice spot and a good size for a show. It certainly feels like a very large regional show.
Yes.
It was more like a small national show than a large regional one in many ways.
Well, I think one of the things that's clear to us up north here is that it is a big show, and there's a lot of caravans up north. I mean, Lancashire is the biggest county for caravans. I think the heart of caravanning is not in the centre of the country. It is certainly in I tend to think it's got a bit of a northwest bias, and down the northwest side of the country in many ways. A lot of the vans are built on the east coast, but that's how we tend to think of it all lining up. Do you find after the show it has an impact for you as a company? Do you see sort of more subscriptions or
yeah, and we come to the show to try and entice people into subscription offers and that sort of thing. But really, it's a good opportunity for us to communicate with people. I think the danger is years ago these used to just be shows for selling subscriptions. But people come to the show, they see the brand represented, and they have someone trying to felt like they were trying to mug them for the money for a subscription, but they never got to see the people that produced the title. And we've made it very much something we do over the last 5 years or so to make sure that there's editorial representation at the show for the duration of the show. A lot of caravan media without talking out of turn tend to just be here on the weekdays, but it is a job for us as well as a hobby. But the important thing is that most of the people are here at the weekend, and I think if we aren't, then we're not really doing the job.
I think it's important what you're saying about the internet, because it's very much a two-way street, isn't it? You're interacting with your audience.
It's a conversation.
It is.
One of the reasons it was 5 years ago is that we started coming to the shows, because you realise at that point through things like the forums and that it was the opportunity to come and see people and face up and speak to them face to face, rather than just speak to them through a computer where you can often misinterpret things. We can put things into a forum post that people take terrible umbrage at, which weren't meant in that way. But actually, if you can speak to them face to face, you find that any frostiness or hostility dissolves, and it's frankly, we're all humans and we can all communicate on a campsite. So quite weren't coming to the shows to communicate with people face to face there.
It can be a very interesting relationship, because one of the things that we get from our readers and viewers is saying, are we hard enough on the main manufacturers? And that the main manufacturers have got the industry nailed down, and because we need their advertising, and that it is a monopoly. We hear that, I'm sure you do as well.
I think,
what would you say to that?
Well, I think every industry, every magazine, every sort of editorial property has the same things. No one accuses the national newspapers of being biased because they take adverts from the people they're writing stories about. We're very comfortable in our own skin at Haymarket. We don't accept advertising on the back of editorial. The only things that we do along those lines are clearly marked as such, as they have to be by law, so advertisement feature, that sort of thing. we get accused a lot of over-representing certain brands daily. Something that, yeah, we do a lot with them, but they tend to have more to talk about than anyone else. They tend to make developments more rapidly than other people, and yes, they're very good at communicating. They're very good at their marketing and media work, and some of the others we have to work a bit harder to get the same information out of. But like I say, we're very comfortable with what we do. We know that we don't do anything in the wrong way, so consequently, yes, we accept that people can view us, or criticise us that way, but we don't get upset about it because we know what we know.
You know what you're doing, why you do it. Yeah, absolutely. Just thinking about the last few years and the future in the caravan and motorhome industry, it's been a tough few years. We know that. There's been, on the one hand, a terrible term, the staycation, which is meant to have kind of upped everything. But at the same time, it's a double-dip recession. It's a hard world out there. Yeah. Fuel costs, everything. All costs have gone up and people are worried. What impact, from the overall perspective that you've got from your position, do you think it's actually had on the caravan and motorhome world, and how do you see the future?
Well, I think when you look historically, we've got access to historical data on recessions, from the early 90s and that sort of thing. And what you see is that caravan sales and motorhome sales track very carefully what's happening in the wider world. So while caravan sales are depressed at the moment, compared to what they were in the early 2000s, we're confident that when consumer confidence starts to recover, caravan sales will go the same way. In terms of how the internet's going to affect things and that sort of stuff going forward, no one knows that, so we'll react like everyone else will when we get a clearer picture. But I think one thing that maybe is lost in all of the trouble since 2008 is there's been a rationalisation of the number of brands in the market, so we've lost names like Ace and Abbey and Avondale and Fleetwood and things like that. But I think this is an industry which has sought to innovate its way through a recession. It hasn't just sort of sat back and tried to punch out the same material. The caravans that were on sale in 2008 look archaic compared to what we've got today. And I think it should be a source of pride to the industry. They have made tremendous efforts with value tech construction, with solid construction. Luna have revamped magnificently to make their caravans look a lot more contemporary. The coachmans are, they're absolutely striking looking things compared to what they used to be. And I think we'd say all the major manufacturers have done a great deal of work to make sure that they've stayed ahead of or stayed in step, should we say, with the market rather than stayed ahead. And I think potentially exciting times ahead. We're starting to see a few of the import manufacturers start to look at the UK seriously again, which is great news because we do need imports to come in. And we've got in the next issue of Practical Caravan and online at the same time, we've got the results of our reliability customer satisfaction survey for caravans, which is based on nearly 2,000 responses from UK caravans. We've got some fascinating results from that in terms of who's won and who's in new and used caravans, and also in terms of which dealers are performing and delivering at the right level. We're really excited that that sort of initiative can help us grow our brand, help us help caravanners make informed decisions about which products are really going to make them happy and which ones maybe need to wear socks up. And we see opportunities like that being the future, using the power of the internet and the ability to talk to customers and gather data and turn it into good quality editorial that is not not subject to the accusations that maybe they're influenced by advertising.
Oh, which I'd have thought. You may not have had time because I'm sure you've been busy here, but have you seen anything in the show or anything recently that you think is particularly interesting or exciting development in this world?
Well, there's 3 new Swift floor plans at the show on Twin Axles, which are quite interesting. I think one of those in particular could do well, which is the Twin Lounge layout. It's sort of a layout that goes in and out of fashion, but looks a really nice van. I'm not so sure about the transverse island bed. It's very short legroom with the Aldi heating pipes down the side of the wall. But I really like the new Sprite Major 6 TD. I know it's a layout that they've sort of had previously. I think it makes the equivalent sport model look expensive, because by the time you've put the window in it, put the diamond pack on it and that sort of thing, it still looks a very, very good value van to me. And other than that, the Pegasus GT65 seems to offer a lot of value. Looks still a slightly divisive point, as they're going to be, but I think it's quite an exciting development, and certainly asked a few questions, like seeing the Michelin tyres on it, like seeing the gas bottle rocker move to help nose weights. So yeah, I think there's some exciting, innovative products, and there'll be even more at the NEC in a few weeks' time.
Absolutely. And finally, while we're talking about exciting developments, anything you guys have got in the pipeline you can share with us?
Nothing I can share with you now. We have got exciting developments in the pipeline. Certainly online we've got a lot of stuff that we're excited and slightly scared about because there's a lot of work to do to get there, but Certainly in-mag, both Practical Caravan and Practical Motorhome magazines are scheduled for a bit of refurbishing and revamping early in the new year. But for us, we're just looking forward to getting back out on the touring trail. Everyone in the magazine has to tow caravans, go and use them, have the travel adventures and that sort of thing. And as soon as this snow's gone, we'll be out on the road.
Okay, lovely. Thank you very much.